Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today for our workshop on time anxiety. That's how to stop feeling left behind in life. I'm going to be your host for today. So I'm Julian Fernandez. There's a small introduction about me. So I've completed my master's in psychology and currently I'm working with MindTribe as a junior psychologist. Also, we have a co-host for today that is Anam. So over to Anam to introduce herself.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Anam, and I have done my PhD in psychology, and I work as a junior psychologist for MindTribe. And I'm truly glad to have you all here for today's workshop on time anxiety. So let's start. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay. So there are a few ground rules that you have to maintain while being in this workshop. So please try to respect everyone and try to keep your mic on mute and videos should be off. And if you want to ask something, if you want to share something, please raise your hand or use the chat box to share your feelings. Next slide, please. So these are the few disclaimers. The presentation is the intellectual property of MindTribe. Please refrain yourself from taking any screenshots or recording of this presentation. The purpose of this workshop is to help everyone manage time in today's fast-paced life and also learn few techniques to do so. So once again, we welcome you all. Over to you, Julian. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anam. So yeah, we'll move on. So these are going to be the table of content for today. So we'll talk about, what is time anxiety, the comparison trap, the myth of the perfect timeline, JOMO rather than FOMO, redefining success. We'll talk about some strategies and we'll end it with some summaries and some key takeaways from today's workshop. So this is going to be the first icebreaker question for today. And the question goes something like this. That is, describe your current relationship with time in one word or an emoji. So everyone, you're not free to use the chat box. So maybe you can raise your hand if you want to speak up and share something. Or you can, use the chat box and maybe share an emoji or a word. Or what is your relationship with time? Okay, I can see some responses in the chat box. Okay. Waiting for some more responses. Anxious. Okay, great. Thank you guys for responding. We'll move on. So now we'll talk about our first subtopic for today, that is, time anxiety. So you will just understand what is time anxiety and how we feel with it. Okay. So what is time anxiety? So it's the constant fear or worry about not having enough time on your hand. So basically, you just feel like you don't have enough time either in the present moment or across your lifetime or in relation to your future goals. Also, it's a sense that, time is slipping away or being wasted, even though you're trying your best. So we have all been in the situation wherein, maybe in a day, we do our best to complete our tasks on time and everything, but still for at the end of the day, we feel we did not give our best, or we could have done better, we could have done more. We have all have been there and felt that somewhere. Moving on to the next slide. So now we'll talk about why do we experience it. So the first point here is, the hustle culture and constant productivity pressure. So, so in the modern day life right now, it's very fast paced than ever. We are constantly bombarded with messages about, hustle, how we need to achieve things. And right now, to be honest, hustle culture is glorified. It's like you're being glorified to being busy or if you overwork. And also it encourages every hobby turning into a side hustle. Like if you tell somebody, okay, this is my hobby, but this is also my side hustle, they'll be like, yeah, you're doing such a good job. But that's not normal. Every hobby needs to be a hobby. It doesn't need to put more pressure on you. And also, again, it creates pressure, it creates burnout. You feel guilty even, when you are resting. And moving on to the next point, that is information overload and digital distractions. So right now we are just a fingertip away from any information that we want. And also throughout the day, we get so much information, even if we don't want it. Like we just open our phone, we'll get some messages of what's happening around us or what our friends are doing. And also digital distractions. Like we have Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, like so much things that we get distracted, and we also kind of shift our focus, not knowing what to do. And also more or to be more. All the time it makes us feel like we are not doing enough or we need to do something more. So this is all you'll experience, when you have time anxiety. Moving on, we'll talk about how it affects us. So we'll talk about how time anxiety affects us in these three aspects. So mentally, physically, and emotionally. We'll talk about each one. So first we'll talk about mentally, like how it affects us. So we'll start overthinking. Like even if there's a small task, we'll kind of overthink so much about it. And end of the day, we won't even do that. That's when you start overthinking. And also it will lead to stress. Like you will take stress about anything and everything that is happening around you. It might be again a small task, but you will take stress about it. And also there's something called as brain fog. So basically, you will feel difficulty in concentrating. You will have trouble in finding words or expressing your thoughts. You will get distracted very easily. In short, like it's similar to being tired or being jet lagged, but this will like be for a longer time. Now we'll talk about the physical aspect. So here we'll have like fatigue. So now fatigue is a strong feeling of tiredness or lack of energy that it doesn't improve even after resting. Like, your body will feel heavy or weak. You will feel like you have low energy even to do normal activities. You will struggle to focus and you can't even do small tasks. And even if you do it, you will feel exhausted. Then you'll have headaches, like you'll get like maybe migraines or, severe headaches. And then coming to insomnia, so basically this is, when you have trouble in sleeping, it either may be trouble in falling asleep or staying asleep, or maybe you will suddenly just wake up too early even if you don't have any work, or even if you get your 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep, you will still get up and feel tired. So that's what insomnia is. Now, coming to the emotional part, you will feel guilty. You will feel guilty for resting. You will feel guilty for not doing enough. You will also feel frustrated at the same time, like, why this is happening. And this will also lead to, low self-confidence, and you will not feel so confident anymore. This is how it will affect these three aspects of our lives, that's mentally, physically, and emotionally. Moving on. Now we'll talk about some common signs we'll feel. So as I spoke, we'll feel guilty for resting. Like I'm sure we'll all must have been in this place, like, if we have task and we even rest for 5 minutes, but back of our mind, we're like, oh, why am I resting? Like, I need to get this task done. So basically you'll feel guilty for resting. You'll also burn out, and from this constant pressure, you will not be able to rest, maybe not able to do your normal task. And also this will lead to harsh self-criticism and also unrealistic expectation. So, we'll criticize ourselves so much and we'll be like, no, I should have done this or I could have done this better. And also we'll set like unrealistic expectation that, I should achieve this by so and so time, which, we know it cannot be done sometimes. And also this will cause us, having bad sleeping and eating schedule. Like either we'll sleep a lot or we won't sleep at all, or we'll eat too much or we won't eat at all. So these are some common signs, that we face. Now moving on to another question. Now from all of these signs that I spoke about, what are some common signs you face in your day-to-day life? So maybe you can use the chat box right now, or, raise your hand if you want to speak. What are some common signs that you face or you feel, oh, I go through this on a daily basis, or I went through this? Can you use the chat box right now, or you can raise your hand. Tanvi says overthinking at times. Just wait for some more responses. Akshay is putting pressure to do more, then this constant feeling like I should have done more, feeling anxious. Right. Procrastinating, yes. Laziness. Yeah, harsh self-criticism, yes, Kanvi. Then whenever I don't do exercise, I feel guilty, yes. Like you see maybe Instagram and reels that other people exercising, you can't do it on one day and you'll feel guilty. Yes, have been there, had that feeling. Not good sleep schedule, yes. Anyone wants to respond to it more? Okay. Thank you guys for responding. We'll move forward. Okay, there's one more response. Almost time sleeping. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, we'll move forward now. Okay. So now we'll talk about the comparison trap. So now here we'll talk about the role of social comparison, like how we'll compare success, looks, or lifestyle. Like I'm sure we all have been in this place wherein we compare maybe our friends or maybe successful people who be like, oh, they are so successful. They may be the same age as me, but they've achieved so much. Or maybe even in looks, like this person is so tall, or maybe this person is so fair, or this person is so fit. We always compare. Even lifestyle, like maybe I should have been so rich like that person, or maybe I wish I had that cars or watches or clothes. We all have been in this space where we compare ourselves to others, and also this leads to feeling of inadequacy and low self-worth. So when we do this, we kind of, what do you say, we ourselves feel like low self-worth about ourselves, even though it may not be true, but because we are comparing ourselves so much on a daily basis to all these things, we ourselves are demotivating ourselves, putting us in this spot that no, you're not capable of doing it. And also it happens more often due to social media exposure. Like as I said, we have our phones like 24/7 in our hands. We are being on Insta, we are on YouTube. We see everything around us and we start comparing it all the more. So we naturally compare ourselves to others, social media being one of the major cause of it. Okay, now moving forward. Now we'll talk about perfectionism. I'm sure we all have heard about this or maybe used this term in our life that, okay, I'm a perfectionist. I want things in a certain way. So now these people have unrealistic standards for success. You fear of failure, or you feel you're not good enough no matter how much you try. And also it adds pressure to be perfect within a time limit. So you yourself put a time limit for yourself, like I need to achieve so and so things in this time. So, perfectionism makes us set unrealistic standards for ourselves. We feel like we have to do it all, and we feel we should never make mistakes. And when we try, like time anxiety creates pressure to, makes us feel that we need everything to do perfect and quickly, which is very exhausting. So, we'll take an example. So now, for example, now you spent 3 hours writing the same email because you felt it had to be perfect, even though it was due in 30 minutes. Now you missed the deadline trying to make the email flawless. Now this example tells you that you knew 30 minutes were due, you had to send an email and it was perfect maybe the first time you drafted it. But in your head you were like, no, it has some flaws, I need to make it more perfect. So you kind of again and again go through it and write it again and again, and now you have missed your chance to send it. Sometimes we want to be perfect in all the things that we do, that we miss on opportunities in life. Because see, nobody will wait for you, time won't wait for you, you need to grab your opportunities. But if you are stuck in this shell that no, it has to be perfect, you won't even end up trying it. Moving on. So now we'll talk about some societal milestones. First we'll talk about cultural norms telling us what is normal. Now, society sets unwritten rules about how we should live, from how we should dress, or what careers we should choose, or to when we should get married or have kids. When we should follow these norms. We might feel guilty if we don't, because society puts that pressure on us. For example, you might feel like you are being behind if you're not financially stable by the age of 25. Even if you're doing, well in whatever your own standards, you will feel that pressure by society. Moving on to the next point, that is family and friends pressure. Now, sometimes family and friends unknowingly or unintentionally, they kind of put pressure on us. Now, these people around us, our parents, teachers, friends, often pass down beliefs of what is right, what is wrong, or what is worth pursuing. It becomes a part of our identity, even if it doesn't align with our authentic self. So, for example, you might push yourself into a medical career just because it's respected, or just because, say, your mom or dad wants you to do so. So that's how family and friends kind of pressurize us without knowing. And the third one is fear of judgment. Now we often shape our thoughts and decide to, avoid being judged or excluded or misunderstood, even if it means secretly telling our true feelings and keeping our true feelings aside. For example, you might hide your mental health struggles because society often treats them as a weakness. So even though if you want to go and meet a counselor, you kind of won't do it because you will be like, what if my friend comes to know? What if the society knows, I'm going and talking to a counselor? So that's what fear of judgment will make you do. Moving on. So now we'll talk about the impact of social media. So we'll talk about the highlighted reel versus real life. Now we all have Instagram, we all have followers on Instagram. It might be our friends, it might be our mutual friends. We all know everybody puts reels, but that's not their real life. But somewhere it distorts our reality and makes us compare our everyday lives to someone else's best moment. So sometimes we can just don't realize it was just their best moment. They don't live every day like that. But sometimes we ourselves, we get distorted perceptions of success and timeline seeing that. And also this fuels our time anxiety and comparison, like seeing that we compare ourselves more, like, oh, my friend, he's doing so well, he got a car, or my friend has gone for a holiday, oh, my friend is married, or maybe your friend is having a kid. You'll kind of compare yourself with your friends and people around you. So that's how social media affects us. So now we'll move on to one more question, wherein I want you all to tell me, like, what is that one area which you always compare yourself? It might be in your job, it might be when you open Instagram, you compare yourself to your friends. Okay, have answers. Um, Career, okay. Waiting for some more responses. So guys, you just tell me, like, which is that one area you always feel you compare yourself in? Maybe it's looks, maybe it's a job, career and marriage. Okay. Lifestyle, career, traveling. Yeah, you see people traveling around us and be like, I didn't go anywhere. I'm just here doing my job. In terms of career and family, kids, yes. So all your answers are very valid, like, because we do see all this happening around us and we start comparing. I think genuine connections near me, community and friends. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for being interactive and responding. Okay, there's one more answer. Relationships, yes. Anybody wants to type in something more? We'll wait for one more minute. Okay, thank you, guys. We'll move forward now. Okay, so now we'll talk about our third subtopic for today, that is the myth of the perfect timeline. Okay, so now we'll just try to understand how everybody has a different timeline. There's a myth of the right time is not real. Like, there's nothing known as a right time. There's no right time to get married or to have children or to travel or something. There's nothing something like that, because everybody has their own time wherein they can do that and achieve what they want. And also everybody's journey is unique. Nobody has a specific pathway that they have to follow. Just because maybe your sibling or your friend achieved everything at 20 doesn't mean you have to do it the same way. Your journey will be unique. Maybe you'll do it at 22 or 23. So your journey will be unique, and that's what makes us unique from everyone. And also, life is not a race, it's a personal journey. We need to enjoy it. We can't rush and be like, no, I need to finish this race first and achieve everything. Then only I'll get accepted. There's nothing like that. Life is not a race, it's your personal journey. Moving on. Okay, so now I'll talk about few successful stories of successful people. I'm sure you all must be knowing all these names. So the first one is Baman Irani. Now he's a famous Bollywood actor. So I'll just tell you something about him, like how he started his career and what age he kind of got famous and achieved it all. So now Baman Irani's first movie was in the year 2001, and it was Everyone Says I'm Fine. Now in that movie, he had a very small role to playing a hairstylist client. And also before entering Bollywood, he worked as a photographer and at a bakery. Now, however, his first breakthrough role came in the movie, which was a very famous movie, in 2003, that is Munna by MBBS. Now, this movie kind of gave him that platform to be known in Bollywood, and after that, he became very successful. Now, at that age, when he got this movie, he was 44. So you can say he became successful at the age of 44. He got known at the age of 44. Now, coming to our second person here, that is Colonel Sanders. He is the owner of the founder of KFC. We all have been at KFC, we know this brand is a very big and famous brand. So, something about him, he kind of failed in all the careers that he chose. And then he started this franchise KFC at the age of 65 using just $105 of his social security check. So he just had $105 society's check with him, and he started his career off with that. And we all know now, today KFC is one of the largest food chains in the world. Now, coming to the last name on the screen, that is Manish Malhotra. We all know Manish Malhotra is a famous Indian designer. Now, he started to work in a boutique in Bandra in Bombay, and he used to use sketching there. And he used to get just 500 per month. So he used to just be sketching, and per month he used to get 500. He didn't go to any fashion school because he couldn't afford it. So he taught himself sketching and also draping. But then he got his breakthrough in the year 1995 with the movie Rangila. And for this movie, he won the Filmfare Award for the Best Costume Design, which was a new category at that time, and he was the first person to win it. Now, at that time in 1995, he was 29 years. So he was not 20, he was not 19. And all these people who I spoke about, Berman Inani, Colin Sanders, and even Manish Malhotra, they didn't start off in their early 20s. They all started off in their respectful time, like, Manish Malhotra started at 29, Kunal Sanders started at 65, and Berman Inani started at 44. So just like a small kind of reality check that, everybody has a unique journey. Your age doesn't determine your success or your journey. You can be successful and at any age, at any stage of your life. Moving forward, now I just want to leave this space again. If you all want to share any story, that you all look up to, it could be of a celebrity or a person that you know, maybe in your family, that a story that is very inspiring to you. So maybe if you all want to talk about it, raise your hand, or you can feel free to type it out in the chat box. So you can just tell a story that inspires you. Yes, somebody's trying to speak. Yes. Yes, Kanvi.
Yes, thank you. So, like, I don't know any person in real life, like,
Okay.
but like, I used to see the in Disney a lot and the Hannah Montana thing, and I have seen that like Selena Gomez, like just like those who were the TV actors, right? So,
Yeah.
like, they were like an inspiration for me that they were too young and they have succeeded and they're still excelling and transforming themselves. So that is a kind of inspiration to me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Kanvi. Thank you. Anybody else? Or maybe you can just put maybe. Okay, there's an answer. I have not seen anyone in my family, but I want to become one. Wow, that's great, Sneha. And I know and I believe you will become one with your hard work and your effort. So, yes, it's a very good response to this question. Anybody else? Or maybe if not a story, maybe you can type in maybe somebody who you inspires you, maybe your mom, your dad. They don't have to be very successful, just somebody who inspires you. Okay, we'll move forward. There's no responses. Okay, I can see some responses. My father who built his business by his own. Wow, that's great. So you really have a person to look up to in your family. I want to become like my dad. Great. Any more responses? Okay. So now we'll move on to our fourth subtopic, that is JOMO rather than FOMO. So now we'll try to understand what is this words and what this means. So first of all, what is JOMO? Now JOMO means joy of missing out. And what is FOMO? FOMO is fear of missing out. I'm sure we all know about these terms. It's very used in like today's day and age. So just to go through it again, JOMO is fear, joy of missing out, and FOMO is fear of missing out. Moving on. So now we'll just talk about this topic, how we learn to need to say no for our own good. We need to choose what nourishes us and not what drains you. And we need to be present, not pressured. And also we need to learn to say no without any guilt. I think that is something we all kind of struggle with, because at times we can't say no, or we just feel we'll go with the flow because my friend is going or my family member is telling me to do something. But I think as a person, as an individual, you need to stand your grounds and know your boundary, where you have to put your foot down and say, no, you know what, this is my life. I can make my own decisions. You don't have to be rude to them, because again, they'll be your family or they'll be your friends, but just that you need to learn where to kind of draw your line, put boundaries and say, no, this is something which I won't let you decide for me. And also you need to be very present in the moment. Don't think too much about your past or too much about your future. Just be present in the moment and just enjoy it. Moving on. Okay, now we'll take a quick ad break. So, you know how on YouTube we have ad breaks? This also one will be a very quick one. So maybe this time if you want to take a quick stretch or maybe drink some water, you're free to do this right now. And also I'll be talking about what is one-on-one counseling. So definition of one-on-one counseling is a personalized, confidential session between a client and a trained therapist. And what are the benefits of it? You kind of get your personal growth, you gain insights into your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. And also, so you learn some problem solving skills, you learn to address specific issues such as anxiety, stress, or relationship problems. And also you learn to set your goals and work towards personal and professional goals with your counselor. That's what one-on-one counseling is. So now we'll just talk about some counseling misconceptions. So one of the biggest misconception in counseling is that, counseling is only for those who are sick. And this is not true at all, because, counseling is not something that only if you're sick or if you have anxiety or stress, you need to see a counselor. Even if you are fit and fine and happy and healthy, you can still visit a counselor and just talk to them about life, or maybe just you need somebody to listen to you. You can always go to a counselor. That doesn't mean only if you are sick. The reality is you can go to have better relationship, maybe more friends, academic success, and also career advancements. Moving on. Now, we'll talk about why to choose MindTribe's counseling. So first of all, we have highly trained counselors. Our team consists of experienced and skilled therapists. We have affordable charges. Counseling sessions range from rupees 500 to 5,000 depending on your counselor. Also, the first session of yours is going to be for rupees 449, and you're going to experience our counseling services without any initial cost. It's going to just be rupees 449 for your first session, nothing more than that. And also after that, there'll be some affordable packages. Once you're more comfortable, you can invest in our budget-friendly, counseling packages after you can book your first session. So this is, why you should choose MindTribe and what are the benefits of it. Moving forward. Do you all have any questions? At this time, you all can raise your hand and ask if you all have any questions. Or if no, we can move forward and go into our presentation. I'll just wait for 1 minute. If you all have any questions, you all can type it out or raise your hand. Okay, there's no questions. So I think we'll move forward with our presentation. So coming to our fifth subtopic, that is redefining success in your own terms. Okay, so now we'll talk about how we need to stop adopting, other people's definition of success. Now, we need to stop chasing society's version of success. Now, we all know society has, a version of success. Maybe, you need to get married at this age, or you need to achieve something by this time. That is society's version of it. It doesn't mean you need to follow it, or if you don't follow it, you are not going to be successful. And we saw example of people who started at 44, at 65, at 29. So your age or any other factors didn't determine your success or what you can do in life. And also define success based on your own values. So don't define success based on what other people think it is, again what the society thinks of it, but basically what you feel about it. And also the last point is, I think the most important point, success doesn't mean you have to have a lot of money, or you need to get fame, or you need to be a CEO, or you need to own a company, or you need to get certain titles. That doesn't mean success. I know today's society claims that if you have money, if you have fame, if you have certain titles or positions, then only you're successful. But again, that is society's version of it. Your version can be totally something else. Moving forward. Now we'll just reflect on some questions here. So I just wanted to ask you all, what does success mean to you? Like in maybe a one word, one sentence, maybe you can type it out in the chat box, raise your hand. Like, what does success mean to you? I'll just wait for some responses. Becoming a good person, yes. Money and happiness, okay. Balancing relationship, career, and health, yes. Fulfillment, learning, contentment, yes. Being fully in the process and finding peace with it, yes. These are wonderful answers. Serve my society, great. Waiting for some more responses. Reputation in society, yes. Okay, thank you everybody for responding. We'll move on to our next. There's one more. Accomplishment and goals, yes. Okay, we'll move on to our second question. So I want you all to say maybe yes or no for this one. So does success have to involve being rich only? So do you all agree with this question? Like, do you only have to be rich to be successful, or does success have some other meaning? There's a lot of no. Okay, no. Yes, rich in knowledge, efforts, and awareness. Yes. Okay, thank you for responding, everyone. We'll move on to our third question. So I want you to answer this one too. It's like, suppose you're chasing your dream job or maybe your career, whatever you're doing right now. Are you chasing that because it fulfills you, or because it looks good to others, or it's a good position to others? Like, what will be your answer to it? Are you all doing that because you want it, or because society or somebody has put pressure on you to do it? The answer, it fulfills. Okay, you want it, yes. Priyanka says, I want it. Then yes, Neha also says because they want to do it. Yes, so there's a lot of people saying because they want and they feel right, it feels right for them. Okay, let's wait for a few more responses. Okay, thank you everybody for responding and being interactive. We'll move forward now. Now I'll talk about what success can really mean. It doesn't, what your answers you all gave are perfect, but we'll also look into this. Like the first one is growth. Like I think somebody mentioned, you need to have like your personal growth. It might not be the biggest thing. Maybe every day-to-day life, like say today was a bad day, tomorrow you kind of achieved something. That can be your growth. It doesn't have to be something very big. Like it depends on how you learn and how you grow. So that can be your growth. Second one is peace. Like, everybody kind of doesn't have mental peace these days. They kind of take stress, but if you kind of manage that and ace that and have peace no matter what is happening around you, that can mean success. Health also is, something, if you have right now, you can be successful, because there's so many people who are dying of so many diseases or accidents nowadays, or somebody is being killed. So if you have health, like you have success. And also family, like you have your family around you, your parents, siblings, maybe your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your children, your cousins. That also can mean success, because everybody doesn't have a family. So if you have that support, great. And also freedom. I know there's something I always think, why freedom? Everybody kind of craves and wants to be independent and make their own decisions. So maybe right now, maybe you are doing your job and maybe you want to be independent enough to, make your own decisions in life and be free, to choose do your own things. That can be freedom. That also can be success to many people, because everybody doesn't get a chance to choose and do what they want to do in life. And the last one is impact. What I mean by impact is what impact you have on people around you. Like, are you a kind person? Because at the end of the day, people won't remember you for how successful you are, or of what color of your house is, or how big your house is, or number of the cars you have. But they'll remember you of how, like, you interacted with them. So if you're kind to people around you, are very helpful, and you create an impact on them, I think that is also success. Moving forward. So now we'll talk about, some strategies how we can manage time anxiety. So the first one, these are some practical methods that you all can use. So the first one is shift perspective. Now, time anxiety often comes from thinking, I'm running out of time, or I must do everything now. Now, shifting your perspective means changing how you, interpret time, seeing it as, something you can work with, and not with something that constantly, you're losing it. You must see that you can work with it, rather than if you're feeling like you're going to constantly lose it. Also, it's about replacing pressure-filled thoughts with the more supportive ones, like, I have enough time for what matters today. So if you can shift your perspective and think positively, you kind of achieved half the thing. So that is the first method. The second one is mindfulness. Now mindfulness reduces time anxiety because it pulls your attention away from worrying about the future and back into the present moment. It helps you notice what's happening right now instead of racing ahead in your head and thinking about your future. Now this makes time, feels less scary, and your task feels more manageable. So maybe whenever you feel stressed, what you can just do some deep breathing, or just notice things around you, and just be calm at that moment, drink some water. So you are pulled back into the present rather than just thinking of what is going to happen. The next point is setting realistic goals. Now I'm sure we all have set it some goals in life or want to achieve something, but sometimes if we look at our goals, we kind of set goals that kind of we can't achieve right now in this small time. So maybe set realistic goals, because time anxiety grows when your to-do list is bigger than what any human can finish. Making realistic goals can help, feel time is manageable, not overwhelming. And also by planning fewer, more achievable actions, you reduce the pressure of feeling behind, and you create a sense of control over your everyday life. So, the more smaller your goals are and the more achievable they are, you'll feel, you have control over time, and you won't feel a burden of it. Coming to the fourth one, you can do gratitude journaling. When you're anxious about time, your mind focuses on what you have not done. So gratitude journaling shifts your attention to what is going well. So this will help you feel less rushed, and you will feel more grounded. You will feel, it reduces the constant feeling of not accomplishing things enough in life. So at that time, you'll have this gratefulness for what you have achieved, or what, small things are there around you. Moving on to the fifth one, that is the time awareness tools. So, there are tools like timers, planners, calendars, time blocking apps, or reminders that, can help you reduce time anxiety by making time more predictable and visible. So instead of guessing how long things can take or stressing about forgetting, use tools to create a clearer picture for your day. So you have a whole schedule, like, okay, this time I'll do this and so thing. So so also you have like a target, because if you just keep in your mind, okay, today I'll do this or today I'll do that, your kind of time goes away fast and you don't realize it. So if you have like a planner or, reminders on your phone, that can be very helpful. And the last one is digital boundaries. So we need to, set some digital boundaries, because the constant notification and the digital distractions can make you feel like you're always behind the schedule. Setting digital boundaries like turning off alerts, or creating no phone zones, or using screen time limits, gives you more mental space and lowers the pressure of time slipping away from you. It will also help you stay present and intentional with your use of time. So if you do that, you will be very intentional of how you use your time. You will know, that, okay, 1 hour when doing this productive thing rather than just like being on your phone. Because I'm sure we all have done this. If you open Instagram saying for only 5 minutes you'll scroll, you'll be there scrolling for 2-3 hours. Sometimes it's very difficult to close your phone. This happens at night also. Like you say, okay, you'll go to sleep maybe at 11 o'clock today, but then you'll be like, 5 minutes I'll use my phone, but then you are there like till 1 o'clock awake. So maybe if you can use these digital boundaries and these certain apps, it will help you. So yeah. So now from all of these practical methods which I mentioned to you, which is something that you would like to try and why? So maybe I'll go to the previous slide back. So from all of these practical methods, which is something that you would like to try and why? So maybe you can type it out in the chat box. Something that you would love to try. There's Okay, so shift perspective is basically when you would start thinking positive. So the moment you are getting a negative thought, you feel like, oh, I'm behind in life. You kind of at that moment just shift your perspective and think, no, I'm not behind. I'm right where I have to be. So you're kind of being optimistic. So you're just shifting your perspective from negative thought to your positive thought. For example, like you're thinking like, oh, this work is too much. I can't get it done. You're talking negative, but at that moment, just take a deep breath and be like, what? I got it under control. If I try my best, I will able to achieve my goals. So at that time, just to shift from your negative thinking to positive thinking, that is shift perspective. Did I answer your question? Okay. Mindfulness because it makes me calmer. Great. Setting realistic goals. I'll just wait for some few more responses. Okay, Kanvi, yes, you can go ahead.
Yes. So what I have already practiced would be the shift perspective. Like,
Okay.
it was most essential because everything starts like you have no put it in a very sequenced way. I really appreciate that thing, especially
Thank
the
you
first
so
two
much.
points, right?
Thank you.
So the point is this thing, like I would go for the shift perspective because that makes the basis, and I guess like the most important one is this: the first four steps, and then the other things go automatically.
Yeah.
So thank you for that thing, and I would also like you to repeat, like after everybody's end of the session, about the two third and fifth point, if you can repeat like end of
Do
every
you want me
session.
to do it now? I can do the third
No,
and
you
fifth.
can, you after the session, after the
Okay,
session
fine,
is
fine,
complete.
fine,
Yes,
fine.
thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanvi. Okay, there's some more responses. Digital boundary is very important. Yes, it's very important, especially in today's day and age. I think that's it for the responses. We'll move ahead. Okay, so I've answered this. So now we'll look at some, summary and key takeaways from today's workshop as we are almost come to the end of it. So, there are some points to remember. First of all, time anxiety is common, but it's not permanent. You need to understand that you may have time anxiety for maybe a certain amount of time, but it's not going to be permanent. You are going to be fine. And also, comparison and rigid timelines fuels the pressure. So basically, just stop comparing yourself to people, stop comparing yourself to things around you, and also stop making rigid timelines that, okay, by so and so age or so and so day or so and so year, I need to, what do you say, complete this. If it's achievable, great, but if it's not going to be achievable, don't make such timelines because it's going to add on to pressure. It's going to add on to the pressure. And also JOMO can replace FOMO, bringing peace and freedom. So the moment you start enjoying the joy of missing out rather than feeling, oh, I'm missing out on this, missing out on that, you see the joy in the little things that you're having in life right now, it will be nice for you, and it will bring you peace and also freedom not to think, okay, I'm missing out on certain things. Some more pointers. Also, being present reduces the fear of running out. So what we do mostly, we kind of reach in the future, we reach in the past and be like, oh, I did this, so I wasted so much time. Oh, what if I fail at this task, or I fail at this exam, or I fail at this job. But at that time we just need to be present at that time and do what we can and try our best, instead of thinking negatively. Maybe you do your work, start working on that task that you have, because at that time you'll be present and you won't run out of time, and you will do your best. So at that time, just be present and it will reduce your time anxiety. And also, just to remind you all, your pace is your power. You are not behind. So just wanted to remind you guys that your pace and your journey is unique, and that what makes you unique. So that is your power. Don't look at it like it is something that is bad is happening to me, that I'm behind or something. It is your power, it is your pace, it is your journey, and you're not behind. Okay, so now I just want to have one small activity with you all right now. So I just want you all to just like sit calmly, like just sit relaxed, just keep your body relaxed right now. And just close your eyes for a few minutes, like just close your eyes and just maybe just focus on the way you are breathing in right now. Okay, and I just want you all to say this, repeat this to yourselves. I am exactly where I need to be right now. I will achieve everything that I want in life, and I will do it at the right time. And I'm not behind. I am exactly where I need to be. Okay, so you can just close your eyes and just be calm right now, that moment. And maybe when you all are ready, you all can open your eyes. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of the workshop for today. Thank you for being, responsive on the chat box and responding to everything. Thank you so much. I think there's